Good morning, YouTube. It's me, always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Real folks, we're having a, a discussion right now, and um, wait a minute. Sorry, I forgot to put that on mute. I get the rebright. Um, you know, we're talking about the debate between um, you know, uh, mass versus size. And it's a big question that's been going around, a good while in the sport of bodybuilding. Give me a second, I got to check something quick, and I'll be back with you. I'm just going to put it on mute for a second. And well, folks, back. And this is something, as a fan of bodybuilding, being I've been a fan for, I would say, pretty much about almost over 30 years. I've seen, certain women that come into the sport that bring a particular look that, especially as fans, we like. There's my man, James Henry. You know, hi, everyone. Yeah. James Henry, you ever want to come on? Let me know, brother. Send me your email. I sent you a link. You can also talk about this. I was hoping to get some people come on here, but a lot of these ladies are busy, they're prepping, and they're getting ready for a show because I really needed someone who can give me their thoughts and their opinion on what's going on in the sport. I should do this thing a little later in the evening, maybe in the afternoon, but it's always this is the best time for me in the morning where I got a lot of free time. Got things I might do later in the afternoon, but the thing is about particular look, especially in not just women's bodybuilding, but also in all the other divisions. Is size important? Is conditioning important? Do you like to see the girls who are the big, like AJ on a female body shop, like say the big freaky chicks, or you like to see the women who are a little bit more lean, a little bit more definition? That's the base. The question is, which is more important? Now, I sent this out to I posted on my IG and also on my YouTube channel, and also my female bodybuilding channel, which actually is the Lions Den female bodybuilding community. That's on Facebook. Check it out. Join up. You can, we try to be a positive space for the women. We try to drop news, information, and also I would love for the ladies who follow me to join over there and me post stuff about themselves, share their stories. People are curious about women in bodybuilding. Now we're going back to about size definition. That's the size and condition, and that's the big thing. The judging criteria for female bodybuilding is more also about size. Sometimes it's the bigger girls do a little better. But if you've seen the last few shows, a lot of women who are not that real, like I said, massive. It's been a lot of, I think, smaller women. Like you just saw the Portugal Pro, Branka Jogovic. I want to apologize if I got her name wrong. She won the show. And there was a couple of women who were a little bit bigger than her. I think there was one lady who I just did a video on, Miss Yacia Garcia Speck, who's kind of like she kind of like the mold of Margie V Martin, very wide in the back, a lot of good size. But the question is, you think that size is important compared to definition? But that's one of the great debates about the sport of bodybuilding. It keeps changing. With men, size is a little bit more important than definition sometimes. The guys can get away. If the guys are big, they do pretty good. But if they come in with the size and the definition, they do a lot better. Usually, you rarely ever see like a guy who's smaller beat anybody who's like bigger. Especially, it's almost, I would say, next to rare sometimes. If you see some guy who's like maybe about a little under 200 pounds, be the guy who's a little over 200. And it's like it walks a fine line between what they want to see in the sport. But that's the tough part about it. It's ever changing. It's always changing, the rules and the judging criteria. One day they want the guys who's really big. Next day they want the guys who's really smaller. And that's the same with women bodybuilding. I think women bodybuilding have it the hardest compared to all the others, because in like if you look at divisions like I would say bikini, it's not about size. It's about mostly I think it's more or less definition with that one, but also how you look, your quality. You don't want to be too styrated in the glutes, because they don't want the women to look like they have a lot of lines in the glutes and be very muscular. That was the reason why figure was created. Or it was for the division for the women who have those looks, but they're not too big. But if you look at that division now, those women are getting to the point that they're getting a lot larger. They're getting a lot more definition. That's why often someone will eventually, say, what, I'm gonna go up to physique. And then even in physique division, where it's supposed to be a look where it's supposed to be more about definition, less about size, those women are getting bigger. Just if you just saw on my IG, if you follow me on Instagram, I posted the list for the Atlanta Pro. And I don't think it's an official list. It's just the women who already just checked in and registered. I think there may be a couple more women want to do, because this is a new show for Linda. Because she originally had the Norfolk. That was around by this time, but now she dropped the Norfolk and then she moved to Atlanta. So she have 2 shows in Georgia. That's the Atlanta and Savannah. And and like the Norfolk, the Atlanta is just you just have women's bodybuilding. When I do my video where I talk about it, I'll wait till they officially get all the competitors. These are the ones that were posted. That was posted by Female Bodybuilding Channel, the one they sent out, and I posted that one. But get the rest of the women I want to get to know. Now, as I say, most of those women in there are 3 women had jumped over from physique to women's open, and 2 made a debut, and the rest are just, I would say, usual suspects. Now, one of the ladies, my dear friend, is Tina S. Williams, and I've been talking with Tina. And Tina, you got to think about it. Tina's a tall woman, and with taller women, it's a lot harder for them to get on that size, because of the height, and because their limbs are much longer, they're much taller. It takes a good while for them to put on the size they need. Remember back in the day, Nicole Bass from the good part of the 90s. Nicole Bass was like about 6'1", 6'2", and not till about to the late 90s when she put on the size, she got a lot massive. But Nicole was a lot harder because she had more of the lean condition look that I think they want to see now in women's bodybuilding. But like any athlete, Nicole was developing, changing. Another lady who I was a big fan of back in the day, Renee Toney. Now, Renee was massive. Renee was truthfully a mass monster. She was one of the biggest women at the time. She competed, I think, in the NWBBA and the WABBA, but she never got into IFBB. Because I think one thing was the judges didn't like her look. I think Renee was too big for the division. She was just too large. She was pushing the look of what is considered, feminine. But I was a big fan of Renee Toney. She was she's still around. She's active on live stream for a particular website. But she has competed, and maybe I would say, has to be about, I'm guessing, 12 years or more. And she was just, she was very popular. I think in the mindset of a lot of the fans, a lot of the guys loved her physique and her body, and she was like, I think I did a comparison with another lady who you would consider very massive back in the day. And that was Natalia Costanova, or we might know her better as Natalia Amazonica. And those women, I think, are probably the biggest women can get, especially if they use certain supplements. I'm not going to say, we all know what they are. I'm not going to give you detail. But, the push is, what do the judges want to see? Do we want to see the more women, the more big, massive women, or the more women who are more condensed, more, conditioned? you know, and that's always been a debate in the sport of bodybuilding. It's always going to be a debate. Like I said, I've been in contact with some ladies who I've become, acquainted with, who I've become friendly with, and we talked about this. And that's the reason why bodybuilding, why it took that step back, because the fact was that the judges and the IFBB wanted to see more of a feminine, more conditioned look compared to massive and a much more larger women, But the thing is, you know, as you grow and developing as a competitor, you can't help but to get the size on. I mean, I think right now the most massive women in division in the sport of bodybuilding is people like, most definitely. If you look at Andrea Shaw, when she started out as a physique competitor, she was figure. Actually, she started figure, then did physique, and then she switched up to women's open. And I think, to me, Andrea has that weird combination of conditioning and size. She has a good amount of size, and she has probably one of the best conditions that's competing in bodybuilding today. One of the best. I'm honestly tell you the truth of that. But then you have also like someone like a lady who I've talked about before. I'm a fan of hers, and that's Margie V Martin. Now Margie, she has good size, but sometimes her condition can be, a crapshoot. She can if she comes in great condition at a show like in 2020, how she took second at the Rising Phoenix. I mean at the Olympia, but then she took third at the in 2021. Then you saw Hella, who took third in 2020, and last year take second in 2021. She made the adjustments. I remember, as I said, that Hella was originally under what's his name, Sherry Starnes, and she switched coaches, and she made those adjustments. And she did spring in the size and the mass, a good bit. Now here, there's a picture of Renee here. I'm posting it real quick. And y'all remember Renee Toney from back in the day, and she standing beside a male bodybuilder. This guy looks like he might be, if this is the weight class, he might be middleweight, maybe not heavyweight. I think he might be middleweight. And that's the thing is, I think that's what scared a lot of people about female bodybuilding. How the women are getting to the close where I think you might be bantamweight, where women are getting to this close. I remember there was a lady who did she wanted to do the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic years ago, and she said she wanted to compete as a bantamweight competitor in the men's division because she felt like she wanted an opportunity to compete as a bodybuilder. But we know that it was back in 2015. I talked about this. We know that what Arnold did, he didn't want her to compete, so she did a class action suit against him. But the fact is that, and I don't think anywhere with that class action suit. More likely, Arnold probably paid her a good chunk of change, and she dropped it. But Renee standing here with a man, she's probably, I think Renee's like about 5'10". This guy may be about 5'8", maybe, maybe 5'9". And, people, I saw people make comments like this, like, she don't need a top. She might just compete with the guys. But, she's a woman. And if she could compete with a man, it'd be unfair because, the guys still have the advantage, And, it's particular things that, it's just men and women can't compete with each other. I've seen pictures where women stand beside men. Some women will look bigger than some dudes, but some dudes will pretty much dwarf a lot of women. Even if you're short, you still dwarf a lot of women because of the fact you have more mass. Men can put on more mass than women. And that's the question. Is mass important than conditioning? And some of the ladies I've talked to, they feel that it is. I think one thing is that, it's important to have both, but it's sometimes hard to get both. I've seen some women who came in with great amount of size and just didn't look at its good condition. They look a little soft in some areas, not as tight. But I've seen some that came in with both the mass and the condition. But I've seen women quit off, especially with a lot of women who are switching from physique to open bodybuilding, who come in with a great condition, but just not big enough. Like they didn't have enough, as I learned, the full muscle bellies. They were lacking, especially around about the shoulders and especially around about the calf area and the quads. I mean, there'd just be some things that just didn't, fill into. And the push is that, You know, should this be women who are massive should be penalized for being have the size compared to women who are more conditioned? You know, that's the thing. That's a debate. You know, I was hoping to get some ladies out here to, share a thought. Like I said, again, I should have really did this thing later in the afternoon. You know, I'm hoping I get some good responses. Maybe someone will watch the video and give them their thoughts. And that thing is, I really want to get the ideals of what these ladies think of what bodybuilding should be, what they want to see, what they want to, think. I just like I said, this thing is about, you really want to get the feel of what they want to see in their own sport. Because like I said, women's bodybuilding for a long time has been put on this put in the corner like Baby in Dirty Dancing. Don't put Baby in the corner, and that pretty much happens. They get put in the corner, put in a position to where you know what you got to choose what you want to be. You want to be big, huge, or you want to be a little bit lean and conditioned. And some women, after a while, I remember I did an interview with a lady who, a while back, Miss Melly Horton. Miss Horton was a competitor for a long time, and then after she got a pro card, she saw that she just couldn't fit in bodybuilding anymore because she was smaller compared to a lot of other women. You remember back in '99 when there was no Miss Olympia. It was saved in the last minute. It was conjoined with a show, Miss Olympia and women's strength extravaganza. She competed in that show, the straight extravaganza part. And you got to think about it. Back then, you still had people like Laura Craval. You had Vicky Gates, a couple of ladies. I think Lisa Lewis still competing back then. And Lisa Lewis was probably one of the biggest women back in the good part of the '90s. And she had a lot of size, but I think she couldn't just hit her conditioning as well. And I think that's probably was frustrating that she had the size but not the condition. I think I compare Lisa Lewis to another lady who competes, who's a big woman. I think she has a lot of muscle definition, and that is Monique Jones. And Monique's she's a tall woman. I think Monique is about 5'9", 5'8", and she has a lot of size. I mean, the 2020 Miss Rising Phoenix, and Miss Olympia, she got top 5, and I think she got top 5 of both those shows. And the debate that she should have been most muscular. They give to Andrea, but to me, I think it should have went to to Monique. I think she had a good amount of size. She was really muscular. I think maybe she wasn't as conditioned as she should have been, but I think when she came back compete in back 2018, and that was the Romania Muscle Fest, she was in top-notch condition. I think she was in the best condition with her size at that time. Monique looked amazing. I would love to get Monique on here and talk to her. I remember right back I did a birthday video for her. She saw it, she liked it. And Monique lives in South Carolina. I would love to interview her. She's not competing this year. She took a step back last year. She was I think she was like a top 3 in points, but took a step back. Then you look at somebody like Stephanie Flesher. Now Stephanie, she's tall. She has a good amount of size, but she needs to work on a condition. I saw in New York Pro how she did both in New York Pro and the Indy, and some parts of her is still a bit soft in some areas. That's not a lot of styration like it should be. Like I said, she's a tall woman. I think Stephanie's like about the same height as Monique. And that's what we're talking about. How it's a lot it's a lot harder for the taller women to bring in, both size and conditioning. Now, one lady I've been talking to is Eva Montgomery. Eva is probably one of the few women who has mass, but she has good amount of conditioning, but she's very massive. She earned her pro card at the Vancouver Pro, and we were talking, we were debating, how that affected. She would like to say, why not we have both? But like I said, the thing is debate about, is both important? I think both are important, but particularly in women's bodybuilding, size is really important. I know a lot of the girls who've been winning have been girls who've been a little bit smaller, better conditioning, but I think as fans, we like to see the much larger women, the much bigger women. That's the sport. That's what we love about the sport. We love the bigger women. We love the women with good size. But the fact is, the IFBB as a business, they're not so much about it. They want to see the women who are like more conditioned. That's why I think the last few shows, a lot of women like Bronca, Lisa Codry, I think who else? Uh, I think Danielle Willis, a couple of girls who've been winning because they have more of, with Danielle Willis at Omaha, her conditioning wasn't that great, but it was better than her opponents, and that, and that's what I got her to win. Now, if somebody else could have done that show and came in better condition, she would have won it like that. As you know, you saw the Puerto Rico Pro. That was about a couple of weeks ago, and you had, you have like I think levels of conditioning and also size. You had Rashana Boswell. I saw Rashana. Rashana was in great condition. Seeing her in person, she was in amazing condition at the seminar we did. I went to about a couple of weeks ago. And Julia Furry. Julia has the size, but she needs to work on her condition. Now she's gonna do the Atlanta show in this weekend, and then she was here in the States, and I saw her doing videos training with Ashley Hadley, and another lady who's a physique competitor. I think her name is Shira Washington. Washington, and I even asked Asha, "You think Shira want to go over to women's bodybuilding thing?" Ask her. I said everything I asked her, and she hasn't responded to yet. But I think, as it's, a lot of the ladies who are in physique competitors are jumping over to women's bodybuilding because it's crowded in physique. Sometimes you have a show, you have 10 to 15 physique competitors, and you have my 8 or maybe at the most 8 or 9, female bodybuilders, and then I think a lot of women see that opportunity, say, you know what, I can go over here, because there's too many bodies over here. There's too many people. I mean, I might get an opportunity to maybe get the points or even qualify for the Olympia if I go over this division. And you shouldn't just go over there because I want to go over there because you genuinely want to compete as a bodybuilder. And and also I saw a lady who is competing as in bodybuilding, who did physique for quite time. That's Sherry Premini. I want to get on Miss Sherry. I even asked her because I follow her on social media. I saw one of her videos and I asked her what she considered to go up to women's bodybuilding. She kind of evasive. She kind of said not really in a way, but then I saw her on the list for the Atlanta Pro. So that told me that I felt like, oh yeah, she was going to do it. The fact was, she is getting to that point where she's getting a lot larger and a lot more developed. It's just about, particularly what a competitor feels fits their stature and their look. And like I think there's a couple ladies who I saw on the list that just one lady I saw, she's the Puerto Rico Pro. Her name is Tammy Gorley, and from what I saw from Puerto Rico, I don't know, it's not a good move for her. I think she should have just maybe stick to physique. And you remember from the Puerto Rico, you had Julia, you had Renee, and you had Erica. And Erica, she didn't have neither conditioning or size, and she didn't have enough. I mean, she was really undersized compared to all the other competitors. Like I said, with Julia, she had good size but not conditioning, and and with Rashana, her conditioning was really good, but just her size, she just had just a little bit more size, but she did good because she had the good conditioning. She came in a lot tighter. Her abs were more pronounced. She had, good development. But the thing is, if Julia had came in with a little bit more conditioning, possibly she could have won. But that's the thing, you have to work, you have to come in, when you come to a show, you have to, how they like to say, you have to become drier. You have to become tighter. You have to push that extra fluid out to make, the muscles and the veins pop. But if you come in, you got good size, but you're just not that vascular. That's the thing that sometimes hurts, Like Natalia Kosanova, who last competed in 2020 at the Miami Muscle Fest. She had a good amount of size, but her condition was not as. That's why she lost to. I think she lost to. Was it Mona Gorsario? Mona Gorsario. I think from Italy. She lost to her. Mona's not that big of a woman, but she has good conditioning, and she has just enough size where I think the judges felt like, okay, we can go with her because she has the right amount of size. She's not too big, but she's not too small. She walks that fine borderline of size and conditioning. And one lady who I've become friendly with, and we talk about this is Miss Jada Beverly. And Jada, this year she did the indie. Jada's gonna take a step back because she's dealing with so many issues. She has great conditioning. That's why I have her and Bronca in that picture of the debate, between size versus conditioning. She has great conditioning. This year was her off year because of stuff that happened, but she always comes in great. She tells me how she says that she usually like to get by to the third show where she hits her peak, where she has to like trial and error. The first show is just a test out. Second show you get a little better. By the third show, you hit like that. And we talked about this. This is the thing that we talk about how women's bodybuilding has to pick if it's about the bigger girls or about the girls who can bring conditioning. That's why you see a lot of more, I think, former physique competitors who are doing a little better, like people like Mila Ash. Mila, she did the two shows last year, and that was Romania Muscle Fest and the Toronto Pro. Now, she took third at the Romanian because I think one thing she said, I think she felt like the trip from the United States to Romania, that flight can work with your condition. I remember some ladies telling me how sometimes if they take a long flight, it's gonna really mess up how their physique looks. They might have bring the size, but the condition gonna be off. And that's the thing is if you're gonna do a show overseas, the best advice is try to leave maybe 2 days before the show starts, so you can get yourself acquainted with the change of time and also shake off that jet lag. I remember my dear friend Miss Tisha Thomas when she did her last competition, that was the Arena Muscle Fest back in I think 2018, and how she had to deal with jet lag, and it really affected her how her body and condition looked. And Tisha, she admits that she's more of a mass woman. She's a pretty good sized woman, and she's more about mass when she was competing back in the day. She was in condition, but she also knew that condition is also important. And Tisha, she's her documentary, "I Am the Tigress." It's here in the States. I've already seen it. I've watched. It's a great documentary. Check it out. She's a great lady. And that's the thing is that you have to the thing between traveling that can affect how you look. I know a lady who I did an interview with. She did a couple of shows here in the States. She's from Australia. She did a couple of shows in the States, and just the first show, her conditioning wasn't that great. It was kind of off because the travel. She had to come all the way from Australia. I think I said that's a 17-hour flight. You got to stop over here, take another flight, and then get here. I think sometimes like 2 or 3 flights sometimes before we get to the States. And then her next show was New York, and she looked a little better. She placed a little higher. The last show she bottomed out next to 13th, and this show in New York she placed 7th. And I think it was just that process. It's a process to when you develop your body. And sometimes the first show is a crapshoot. Like you look at the indie. You saw the indie about a couple of months ago. How you saw Teresa Vasic. Teresa looked like I think in the best condition she has been in a long time. Ever since she turned pro, I think it was the best look for her. With her, I remember I was talking with some people saying that she was supposed to do New York, but she cut her prep short for that show and did indie. So if she cut her prep short for a show that's going to be like for 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks earlier, to show that's maybe 2 weeks later, it's just she did pretty good. She kind of timed it. As Teresa took first of that show, and Stephanie Fletcher took second, and you go Lisa Kudrow took third, and Donna Slee took fourth, and then Jada took fifth. Donna, who did that show in Indy, she popped back in New York and she won. And Donna has good conditioning, but she put in a little more size because she's still a bit compared to some of the women. She's been competing as a bodybuilder for quite a long time. She did start at figure, but competed as strictly as a bodybuilder for a good part of her career. And plus, Donna's a lot more older, and it's a lot harder for the older women to maintain a level of conditioning and size. Sometimes you got to make a choice. You want size, you want conditioning. I think some women who are much more mature, they want to have condition because they want to look, because your body changes. You don't have that same elasticity as you did when you were younger. When you get older, your body does start to sag, and you have to really come in as tight as you can. But that's the thing. That's also a factor. Is age. A lot of these younger women, like people like remember someone like Hunter Henderson, who she had a good amount of size, also conditions is pretty decent. And you got to think Hunter's just in her mid 20s. A lady who I just saw competed at the Portugal Pro, who made the switch from figure to women's physique open, is Coley Amendes. I think she's from Switzerland, Sweden, and her condition looks pretty good. Just bringing a little more size. Now, size should be as important in physique as it is in bodybuilding, but sometimes it helps because you can't be too small. Physique, as you know, is the division that was created as an alternative for women in bodybuilding who didn't want to, go to that next progression in size development. But if you look at the division the last few years, the legs are getting bigger. That's why most of these women have a choice. Either I go up or I go, I stay where I'm at. If I stay where I'm at, I'm not gonna place too well. Judges are gonna go with somebody who's, more, have more of the aesthetics they want to see. And if I'm in a division where I'm too big and I don't fit their criteria, then I gotta go someplace else. I talked about this with Jimmy Pender, how the one we mentioned how should be a rule that would say that competition comes side rated, but sometimes it can't help that, especially when you're training and especially getting prepped, and you push out that extra water, you come in tighter, and and that's what they don't want to see in divisions where it's supposed to be more soft and feminine. And that is divisions like fitness, figure, and also I think even bikini, and even look at the women in wellness. Those women, a little, even the glutes, they'll get a little more styrated. This division is supposed to be more that it's supposed to walk that fine line between, femininity and masculinity, not masculine, masculinity. I would say, fine line between muscle and femininity. And even some of those women, you look at some of the women in the wellness, they have guns, they have like, the striations in the glutes and the quads, but it's supposed to be more a softer look. But even that, it's hard to control. You can't just, you try to contain something inside a bottle. And the thing is, if it keeps expanding and growing, it's not much you can do for, to contain it. It's just, you got to either maybe change the container, put in something else that can really, can really make the object grow, or, you just, some other reason you find it where you decided to, what, let me try to change something a little bit in it. I mean, change the formula, how things look. And that's what the judges are trying to do. They should change the formula, how things look. If they feel that women are getting too big, then penalize them. They do penalize the women. But it's unfair to penalize because the athlete is progressing, And that's why, like I said again, that's why bodybuilding for women is around, because many of the women in other divisions are progressing. They're changing, they're developing, they're growing, they're getting bigger, and they are bringing in a good amount of conditioning too. But the debate is, what do you want to see from the competitors? You want to see the size, you want conditioning. The fans, a lot of the guys, especially us, muscle perv smokes, we love the big muscular women. We love the huge chicks. We get excited when we see them. We see the big shoulders, the large, the big quads and thighs. We see the massive chests. Maybe if they got implants or not. We get excited about that. But some people don't take to it well as others. Some want to see the women who come in more leaner, more tighter, more feminine. They want that V taper. You look at someone like Sarah Vilgas. Now Sarah, she beat Shanique Grant. Now Shanique Grant had that great line of muscle and femininity look to her. But Sarah, she had more conditioning. Sarah, in looks wise, is so-so, but she had a better condition compared to Shanique. Now I follow Shanique Grant, and she's talking about she wanted to retire and focus on, maybe starting a family. But she still looks like she's in competitive condition. If you're not gonna compete and think about becoming more of becoming a wife and have kids, why not you drop in your muscle? Why not you just let your body start to, change? It's been 2 years since she last competed, and she posted stuff. she still posts stuff out on social media, and to me, if you are saying you're trying to get away from you know being too muscular, you still look like you remember she started out as figure competitor and later on made the switch over the physique because she was told by the judges. And that thing, the judges are the ones that really carry the weight among his competitors. They tell them like, hey, when you see a competitor and say, you know what, the reason why you didn't the reason why you didn't place or do good at this show because it's not it doesn't fit you, you know, and you should go over here, go to bodybuilding. But I'm gonna post this picture of Shanique Grant, and if you look at Shanique, even though she's no longer competing, it's been almost 2 years since she last competed. You know, the question is, why are you still in almost a competitive physique? I mean, I know you still have a passion for fitness, but you said you want to start a family and have kids. Well, that's not the physique you're gonna have it. I mean, you still look like you probably can compete in figure again. I think someone like Cindy Gilliam may be careful because I think there's a good shot that Shanique might try to go after your title. I would say watch your back. And she has those great feminine lines and looks that they want to see in bodybuilding. Here we go. Let me see. But still, she still looks more like she's a competitor. Like she's training. She still trains. This is, I think, her last picture from when this was back in 2020. She has good conditioning, good lines. Look at the back. Look at the hamstrings, the quads. This was like it was 2 days out from the Olympia, and that's the day she lost. And then she still she still has a good amount of conditioning compared to when she was competing. This has been a while since she competed. She says not my leanest, but my healthiest. Yeah, but she says you want to be healthier, but if you want to be more healthier, you really gotta like change your overall look. You say you want to have kids, you want to start a family, but you're still in borderline. You're almost like you're in prep. And that's the thing. Does she still wants to compete? She wants to say, you know what, I lost the title 2 years ago. Do I want to go back to my old division? And then, like I said, I'll talk about how about Sarah Vilgus, as she has changed the look. Say the idea what Sarah was supposed to have been the going back to Dana Lee Bailey times, but Dana Lee Bailey, you remember her, she wasn't that well conditioned. She still, I think in some areas Dana Lee was a little soft. If you go back to watch some of the old videos from back in the day. But then if you see someone like Sarah, Sarah, she's getting really a lot more definition. She's getting a lot more styrated compared to some of the other competitors in her division. She don't have as much size, but it just it's the push is which she considered going up to Women's Open. If, like I said, if they did this, if they created a lightweight division, turned to physique division into lightweight, with someone like Sarah consider going up. Now you look at Sarah, look for her back. She may not have as much size, but she is no much different from her than from the women who are winning these shows in women's bodybuilding. Not too much of a difference. And she's just, like I say, like any athlete, she's evolving, she's changing. You can see she has good definition. She has good aesthetics. She may not have the size, but there's not much difference between her and somebody like I would say Michaela Aycock, or I would say maybe Lisa Codry. Those women who switched from women's open, from physique to women's open. I mean, it's just it's like any process. Like when she was competing as back in 2017 when she, I think she earned her pro card. She said she was 40 pounds lighter on stage than today. And she looked kind of like I think she looks more like what the figure girls look like today. And then you do this one here where, just like right around when she won the last Olympia, you really seeing that she's really putting on a little more size. Her shoulders a lot more broader. She has a lot more definition in the quads. You can see the vascularity in the legs. I mean, she's really evolving. Question is, will she hit the next step? If this was a push, will she push up to women's open? That's the debate. I don't know. I am just a fan, not a judge. I'm just somebody who just give my thoughts and my opinions. I like to hear wait, is my man Blue Ray coming through? Symmetry, but the calves are lacking. Yeah, symmetry. Yeah, she's symmetrical. You're talking about, Lisa is symmetrical, but much better than yes. Yeah. And Blu-ray, this is a question I want to ask you. Do you think that it is more important for a bodybuilder to have size or to have conditioning? You think they should be bigger or should be more tighter and well defined? Because I know you follow bodybuilding as much as I do, and you see how the sport has progressed over the years. Now, one person I'm going to pull up and I follow, I'm a fan of, and that is one Miss Eva Montgomery. I'm going to talk about Eva a bit. I think she has good qualities about her. I think she's an amazing woman. She's an instructor. She's a mother. And we were talking about this, how she feels like she would like to have both. She would love to have. She trained because she beat an Olympia, and she wants to have both the size and conditioning. And she's evolved as a competitor over time. I'm going to pull up a picture a bit where how she started out in her career when she was like, I think combination of both for sure. Yeah, and it's hard to get that combination. Blu-ray. It's sometimes hard. It's something like you have to sacrifice one for the other. So should I come in bigger or I should come in tighter and better condition? You have to make that choice. Now, if you're lucky, if you're somebody like I would say Andrew Shaw has walked that fine line of both size and conditioning. She has. Others not so well as her, but she has walked that fine line. Now I'll put this picture of Eva. And I think Eva, she has amazing shape. She has great aesthetics. This is her early in her career. I think she said it was left the first time I competed as a bodybuilder back in 2015. And she could have done physique, but I think this was physique, I believe. And then this is this year as a Vancouver Pro. And she has a good amount of conditioning, but more people will focus on side, like her quads. Look at her quads. She has that little slight diamond look into her quads, and that's pretty good. Some areas might be a little lacking, especially around the midsection and the abdominals, because I said Eva, she had kids, and sometimes being pregnant and having children can affect how your cell wall looks. And she looked pretty good. This was I think her best look since the Tampa, because I think she bottomed out. She was like next to the bottom in the Tampa, and she's, I guess, don't want me Rising Phoenix. I gotta say, I'm pretty surprised. And that's the thing is, we talked about this. She wanted to do the Rising Phoenix. She applied for the Rising Phoenix, and you think she would get the opportunity because she's one of the women who earned their qualification for the Olympia this year. And I think one thing, I think she might win most muscular. I most definitely believe that. Eva will win most muscular. And that's the thing is they didn't want her too muscular. But yeah, there's some things I think she can work on and improve because she has the time. The Olympia's not till December, and she did the Vancouver. I think the was it late April, the end of April? I think it was the end of April. And she's one of the women that is a combination of both size and definition. Now, this is the lady who won the physique division. I think Christella, who won in the physique division, and you see the differences in between the two. Christella has more, I think, the aesthetics that the judges want to see. She can, if she wants, Christella could probably cross over to women's bodybuilding and do pretty good. She's got to make the adjustments and bring in a little more size. And then, you look at the legs, not too much difference and not too much. And then I think with Christella, she has more of the taper look, tight in the waist. Eva, she's a little more larger in the upper body and the shoulders. That's the big difference between these two divisions. But they're starting to, in a way, cross over between each other. They're starting to, meld in a bit. Sometimes you can't tell the difference between, women's physique and women's, bodybuilding. It's starting to meld a bit. But let's see here. But as a fan, I'm just giving my opinion and my thoughts of it. Okay, wait I say, where you go, my man Blu-ray. I agree, but the most must be that must be objective. That must be the objective. Yeah, I think I agree with you. And also, I am biased towards size, though. She's bigger. She looks great bigger. Yeah, and she is definitely a combination. And you're talking about Eva. She does have that. She has a good bit of conditioning, and she has a good amount of size. But if she can bring in just a little bit more conditioning, come in, as I say, come in a little bit more drier, that will really help. And it's just a taller bodybuilder struggle with symmetrical, I think. Yeah. And he says, yes, Eva. Yeah. And yeah, I talked this with my dear friend, Miss Tina Williams. Tina, she's a tall woman. And it's a lot harder for the taller women to come into that level of condition that works for them. Because the fact is, because you're a lot taller, your limbs are a lot longer. They can come in good condition. But, the thing is about, the size they need. And it takes a lot longer for the taller women to come in great size, because the fact is, it's about adding on that mass. It takes them a lot longer. It takes the time to get to that level, and they have to work on it. Like I said, talk about Tina. I think Tina's a great lady. Shout out to Tina. I hope her husband, my dear friend, Big Keith Williams, is doing better, because we talk about how he's doing. He's doing fine. I think he still has some things he has to work on. I'm a fan of him. You meant symmetry. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Symmetry. And it's just like, look at Tina. Tina is a tall woman. And this is from some pictures she posted. She sent me some every so often about when she's, how she's doing and how she's progressing. Is, Tina, she trains with Alina Popa. And her and Alina, they're working on a process. Yeah, I talked about Lisa Lewis earlier, Blu-ray, how Lisa had a good amount of size, but she could never really come condition. You remember back in 97 when she competed at the was it 98? No, 98, when she competed at the Miss Olympia at I had it in Prague. I remember watching a video of her, and she's on the stage, she's sweating hard. And and she's really putting that That's, she really had that size, but she wasn't as tight, and that's why there was a battle between, Kim Tversky and Yolanda Hughes for the top spot. And Yolanda looked pretty good. Yolanda was a pretty tall woman about that. I can't tell. She's tall, maybe 6 feet. Oh, Tina, no, Tina is about I would say 5'9", 5'10". You know, she's close to 6 feet. If you know Tina, let's say she was a great poser. I remember Lisa was a pretty good poser, but the better poser was Yolanda Hughes. You remember her back in the day, Blue Ray. I think Yolanda was the better poser compared to Lisa. Lisa was pretty good, but I think Yolanda was the better poser. And the process of bringing in that size and conditioning it's a lot of work. It's really tough, and you have to hit that. You have to hit the irons while it's hot. You have to really, really it's just really tough to bring in to walk that line between mass and conditioning. And even if you see in the other divisions how they are evolving and changing, it's crazy. I talked about this how they're like divisions like even the figure girls and the fitness women are getting much more larger and conditioned compared to women's open. There's a debate of should those divisions keep going as is. And one person I talk about here is Irene Anderson. Irene, I'm a fan of Irene. I think she's a great female bodybuilder. Especially Irene being 50 plus and still competing. Along with some women who are much younger than her. And recently Irene was, she was visiting her dear friend Hela Trevino here in Mexico while Hela was recovering. And Irene, I think Irene's a little taller than I think is it? Yeah, okay. I gotta say 5'10" first. Yeah. I say we have God's will coming through. Appreciate your brother coming through. Kim Tversky was near perfect for me. Yeah, Kim Tversky, she did pretty good. She beat probably one of the best women at the time, and that was Linda Murray. And Linda Murray, I think, back then, I think female bodybuilding was still going through that process. Just got out from under Corey Everson, and then you go up to the level of Linda Murray, and Kim is the best. Yeah, Kim was the best. I think Kim had that, Zavetsky rather. What do you mean Zavetsky rather? Kim had that. She had that great look to her. And what was about Kim, because she had both that level of masculinity and also femininity. She was an attractive woman. Also, she had a good level of muscle and definition. But that last year, when she competed in '99, she kind of pushed it. Kim was a lot bigger in '99. And that's why she took a step back and decided to retire. But I'm going to talk about Irene Anderson for a bit because I'm a fan of Irene Anderson. I, talked with her a few times on social media. I think she's a great lady. I think she, this is her with Hela Trevino. And I'm telling you, I mean, Irene, she's just a little bit taller than Hela. I think Hela's 5'5". Irene got to be about 5'6", 5'7". Irene is, 54, 55 years old and still maintain a good level of muscle compared to some women who are much younger than her and much older than her. There's a few women who are close to 60 now. Like people like my dear friend Miss Marianne Wachowski. You have also great Miss Michelle Brent and Irene look at this. I mean, she's like you don't think she's a mother and a grandmother, and she's massive. Look at those. Look at the arms. Look at the shoulders. She has that fine line. Of muscle and conditioning. Linda was very dominant. She had to increase her size to compete with Kim. Yeah, and that's why she took a step back. With Linda, as you remember the story of Linda, after that last Miss Olympia, when she lost the second time to Kim, she started to, you remember Linda wanted to do some other things. I think one point she became, she tried out for the WWE and she wrestled, she was trying for that. And then I don't know what happened with that. It would have been great because at the time that was when you had people like China, you had, Mary, Anne Marie Crooks, and she was a big woman too. Anne Marie Crooks, I think she was about almost 6 feet. Midnight. You also had Kristen Wolf, and you also had Nicole Bass, who went over to wrestling. Let's see this. Linda, she got her muscle mass size. Yeah, Linda, her muscle mass size. God's willing, how you said it. You break it up a little bit, but yeah, Linda had a good amount when she came back in 2002. Was 2002, and she was up against Juliet Bergman, and Juliet just Juliet would have better conditioning back in the day, but then she put a little more size, but she wasn't conditioned when she won the first time at the Olympia. Amen. Here you go by Blu-ray. WWE, I never knew. Yes, I remember Anne Marie was tall and sexy too. Yeah, Midnight. But yeah, there's a picture of her wrestling. I found it one time when I do some research on some stuff, and I was talking to do a video on Linda, and I found a picture of her, at a wrestling camp. I think it was WWE wrestling camp or somebody else WWE wrestling camp. And she was thinking about doing wrestling, but I don't know, it didn't work out for her or what a particular reason. I think wrestling is tough. It's not that easy. It is tough. You have to really go through a lot of bumps and jumping around, and eventually can really, if you don't have the tolerance for it, you just have to quit and just give up. But back to, I would say, Irene Anderson. Irene walks that fine line of mass and condition. Now, her last show, she got 5th place at the Olympia, and she looked pretty good, but she really, I think she really needs to work a few things, and maybe she'll do a lot better. She's gotta make the adjustments. But Irene, she sometimes walked that fine line between conditioning and size. She does pretty good. Like this is a picture right here. Wow. I mean, and like I say, this woman is 57 years old, and you wouldn't think she was like that old, and put on that much. And this is probably one of the best pictures. She looks like real vascular, very striated. I mean, especially for her size, she looks pretty good. I'm 6'3", so not intimidated by big girls like Irene. Well, like I said, you're taller than Irene. Irene's just about 5'6", maybe 5'7". So you you shouldn't be intimidated by a woman that you're taller than, Blu-ray. But I understand your point. I think one thing, it does intimidate some men, women like Irene, even though she's not that tall, she's big. She has a lot of size on her. Now, I was talking earlier about a particular competitor who competed about a few weeks ago, and that was Erica Dankova. And Erica, she was, I think, thing with her, she has youth on her side. But the problem is she just don't have the overall condition she needs. I mean, that's the thing. Youth is good. When you have youth, it really helps you out. But, when you don't come in top-notch condition, especially competing with bodybuilding. And the thing about her, she was a regional strength ambassador before she got a pro card. I mean, that's kind of funny to me, Yeah, he was talking about you talk about Irene. Yeah, wow, she looks amazing there. Yeah, Irene looked pretty good. And LOL, yes, you're right. To be fair, yeah, to be fair. But we're talking about Erica right now, and Erica, she did the sorry, the P's messed me up. Portugal, Pittsburgh, the Puerto Rico Pro, about 3 weeks ago, and she just, I don't know, it's just she just didn't come in as great condition as she should have for that show. She just she has to really make the adjustments. I mean, she's like I said with Erica, she's still young. She's still developing as a competitor, and if she can, I don't. This is what I think. I think she'd probably be better off in maybe another division. I think possibly going to um, women's either to figure or maybe uh, probably physique, but she has that advantage of youth. She's an attractive young girl. She has potential, but she still has a long way to go. You know, this is her at the I think this was the Puerto Rico Pro. You know, and you wouldn't think she was a bodybuilder. You would think she was maybe one of the you know bikini girls, or maybe one of the figure girls. Or like she looks still more like an amateur. Like here's her beside her and Julia Furry. Look at Julia. Julia, she's a pretty good sized woman. Her conditioning wasn't the best for this show, but with Erica, her conditioning wasn't even there yet. You know, yeah. Yes, Irene. Yeah, I know you're talking about Irene. When you look at Erica and Julia, you can see how much, you know, Erica, she just wasn't her best showing. You know, she needs more time to cook and to grow and develop. I mean, if she want to be a bodybuilder, that's good. But you know what? I think she should do physique, and she actually does it over there, or do figure. But I think she's too big for figure. But I think physique would have been better for her. You know. Yeah, Blue Ray, Erica's not there as yet. True. Yeah, she's not there. I think she jumped the gun too soon. But if you look at Julia, you remember Julia on her pro card as a physique competitor in the Olympia about almost 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, and she's done the Tampa. She's in Tampa. She took fourth to Tampa. There was all talk that Julia's gonna come in and win the Tampa, but who won that show? Mona Soleil, and who took second? Hunter Henderson. And Julia, she has that. Julia walks that fine line of musculinity, of muscle and femininity, and also she has a good line of size, but just has to work on and condition and definition. But Erica, like I said, she's still young in development. She's still growing as a competitor, and she just needs the time to really, come into that next level. She just needs time, and it takes time. Nothing ever is done um, like boom. It's just, everything, if anything, takes time. There's one lady who also I've talked about before, Nikki Chartrand. We haven't seen Nikki in a while. She took eighth in 2020, and she didn't do too well last year, and she's been kind of, not much. It's not, she, I mean, I don't know what's going on with Nikki. She has. I think Nikki's also. It's the issue that she's tall. Nikki's tall. I think she's. I know the comparison with her and another fellow Canadian, Robin Hillis, and both of those kind of ladies kind of tall. She just got. I think Nikki just got to bring her conditioning. This is her last year from when she did Tampa in 2020. She just. I think she. She has her height. She has good muscle development, but some things she needs to work on. You know. Wait, it says we got here. What's it? Yeah, here we go. Sacrifice is the key to success. Yeah, you got to make those sacrifices. I remember Sue Price said she didn't want to make a sacrifice of her femininity to get to the next level of bodybuilding. I respect that. You want to make that sacrifice. Erica needs time. She does. I think when she got a pro card last year, she should have set out this year and maybe next year. I was talking to one lady who's a NPC competitor, and I told her when you get your pro card, she has a great physique. You know, this is a lady who has a great physique. She has great potential. I said, once you get your pro card, maybe sit out next year, do some powerlifting, and do the powerlifting. You may bring some more size. And she said she'll think about it. She'll talk to her trainer and coach, and they figure out if that works best for her. Mm. Yeah, Nikki has presence though. Yeah, she has presence. That's why she has that look because she's statuous. She's tall. She has she's very feminine looking. That's what helps her. She has that level of that even with the height, she still has a level of femininity. That's what the judges like. She hadn't done too good and too well in some shows. She I think she placed 8th at the Rising Phoenix. She was, to me, she should have either got 1st or 2nd at the Norfolk Pro, but they gave it to LaDonna Day. And that's the thing. LaDonna wasn't even. I don't know. LaDonna wasn't in that best condition. Seems like LaDonna never really comes in top-notch condition. She always comes, a bit soft. In my opinion, it's just me. I'm just, we hadn't heard much about it because she's not too much on social media. She does have a IG page. She don't post too much on it. I think LaDonna's really kind of private because, she's a school teacher. And, when she was at the Norfolk, last year, to me, I don't think she deserved to win because, like I said, she just didn't come in the best condition compared to, I would say compared to Janine Mikowski and Nikki Chartrand. I think she was just one person who I think, and we become very friendly, me and this lady, and that is Gabby Vega. Gabby looked pretty good. I think Gabby should have got in the top 3. This is I think this should have broken like down like this. This is my opinion. And you don't have to agree with me. I think first place should be between Nikki and Janine. I think Nikki could have got it. Janine got 2nd. I would say Gabby got 3rd. Holder got 4th. And LaDonna got 5th. And to me, LaDonna wasn't in that. She even when she did New York, she did New York Pro before she did the I think she did the Omaha first. She took 5th at the Omaha, I believe. And she just, I don't know. You can look at LaDonna. She has good delts, but if you look at the quads and the rest of it, she just looks kind of soft. She just didn't look as vascular. She didn't, she does, she put on a little more size, but just her conditioning was kind of off. You see that little bit of she has a little bit good condition in her quads, but not enough. She wasn't as they say, as dry as she's supposed to be. I mean, and she always kind of looks like she never is, in top condition. She looks, here from like this from the back, she still looks like this was, I think, behind the scenes at the, I think it was the Norfolk, and she still just didn't look as tight. Her back, I don't know what the judges are looking for. I mean, it's just, and this is from the, you remember she was at the Omaha, as you know, Michaela won that show. Jessica Martin took second. Hoda took third. Keisha Oliver took fourth. And I have to agree with them. Keisha looked pretty good, and Michaela looked pretty good. And Michaela's short. She's a short girl. She's it's, yeah, not very ripped. Yeah, I agree with you. She wasn't that very ripped. And even Hoda looked pretty good. Hoda, with Hoda, one thing about her, she has a good Hoda. If Hoda can really put in her conditioning, we might see her compete. Because she lives in Honduras. She probably try to stack her chips. We might. I hope to see Hoda compete maybe next year. She's not gonna compete this year. With Jessica, she looked all right. She just got to come in a little tighter. I follow Jessica Martin on on Facebook and on social media platforms. And Jessica, she's been putting on some size. Because you remember Jessica, she competed in physique for a good while, made the switch to open back in 2019 and won her qualification for the Rising Phoenix at the Puerto Rico Pro. Now, one person we know is competing this weekend is Michaela Aycock. And Michaela, I think she made top 10 at the Olympia. Now, this is from the picture from when she competed at the Omaha. And, Michaela, she's small. She's on the short side. She's about 5 feet tall. And, she's really developing as a competitor. I mean, I did a video about Michaela. She didn't like it too much, but hey, people are curious about what was going on with you. And Michaela, she's really changing, developing as a competitor. She's really, she has some good conditioning. Look how tight her butt is. She can probably bounce a quarter off her quads. I said, I like to see more girls this size in action movies. Well, we like to see more of we like to see more women like that in action flicks, but you know how Hollywood is. Hollywood's prejudiced the idea of women muscle, and you can't change their idea of what women should be. Now, one lady I'm on the show, and I think she's pretty impressive. Let me pull her up real quick. And I think who's this? I think she has potential. It's all depend on what level she wants to go to. And let me see, let me pull her up in a bit. There's so many amazing women in the sport of bodybuilding. It's just hard just to, I said hard. It's hard to keep up. But I think one lady who I mentioned, who's transitioning from physique to open, and I think she can do pretty good. It's all depending, and that is Tequila Redrick, and I saw. You remember she was on. She did the She did the pitch. She did the Puerto Rico Pro about a couple of weeks ago, and she's competing at the Atlanta this year. The Atlanta's it's a new Linda show, and you look at her. Wow, she has good potential. She earned a pro card as a physique competitor. Competed her first pro show at Puerto Rico, and now she's making the switch. And I think if she made adjustments from Puerto Rico to for Atlanta, she might do pretty good. She might make top 5. It's all depending on how her conditioning is. And that's it. It's about even though she has a good amount of size. Look, her arms kind of long. She has some long arms. I've seen women who have long arms and short torsos. And as you know, also about her her story is, I saw her on the Female Bodybuilding channel, how she told stories. She was dealing with Crohn's. And I remember another lady who, like herself, who was dealing with the same disease, and that was Tony Moore. And Tony Moore had a great physique. She had great potential. But, Crohn's took her out of the game, and it really messed her up. Her second bout with Crohn's really took her out of the game. And, and see. Yeah, she does look impressive. Yeah, she does. There's a good shot that she might possibly make top 5 or top 3. It's all depending on how all the other ladies look. Now, another lady who is going to compete is in physique, who made switch from physique to women's open, and that is a lady by the name of Sherry Pomari. I won't get her name wrong. I'm sorry. I messed up her name. She competed in physique for a good while. She made like top 10 in some shows. She's won some shows. She won Masters. And I remember I even reached out to her and say, are you considering going up? And she said she didn't say. I wish I remember, where was that video where I think let's see if I can find that. And she responded. If I can find it. I wish I could find it. I'm not gonna look for it. But Sherry, she's competing for a good while as a physique competitor. And now this year, she's making the switch to women's open. And yeah. Almost Margie Martin like. Yeah, she's almost like that. I wouldn't say, I got another lady I'd say who's more close to Margie Martin. Now, Sherry's been competing as a physique competitor. And she's now going to compete as a women's open bodybuilder. And you look at Sherry, this is pictures from, I think, she done her last competition. And this was a Transformation Tuesday, 8 weeks, 3 days out from a show in 2020. I think that was probably the Tampa or the Chicago. And you really see how she put on a little more size, especially around the back. She's really, she really put on some size. And she's a mother. She has kids. And I think, and one thing is, it's a lot harder for these women who are much older, especially if you have kids, to come in top level condition. But from his look, Sherry looks pretty good. I mean, she looks, really impressive. I think there's a good chance she might be a contender for the Atlanta. She looks pretty good. We got 8 people in here. Appreciate you 8 people coming through. Drop that like, comment, and share. If you're interested in taking part and giving your thoughts and analysis, send me your email. You can come on here for a bit. You can talk about how you think, the debate between size and conditioning and women's bodybuilding. I like to hear that. I like to hear from you people, you fans or you competitors. I want to get your thoughts and your feelings, But it is a great debate about size versus condition. Like I said, I won't be on here too long because, like I said, there's so many amazing women in this sport. I go back to Blu-ray, and I think Blu-ray just mentioned Margie V Martin, Margie Martin. I always say Margie. I like to say that Margie V part because I'm a big fan of Margie. And Margie, as you know, she is marvelous. Margie V. I'm a fan. I'm she's amazing. And I follow her on social media. And Margie, she's really, I think, really coming in her own this year. I think she looks pretty impressive from the videos I've seen of her. I mean, Margie, I think this year, it's with Hella out. This might be her best year for her. I think, Margie, I think they're hearing that Margie might be retiring after this Olympia. And Margie is just, Margie's a goddess. Oh my God. Her, her condition and size is coming great. I mean, wow. I mean, oh, uh, hey guys, you know what, guys? Hey guys, I might have to shut this off. I don't want y'all to start, have some ideas. I'm sorry I showed this picture of Margie. Margie looks pretty good, and she has that good amount of size and conditioning. Look at the, she still has a little issues in her quad area, in her glutes, but her quads have always been that's her sign. Yeah, Margie has great quads. I know Blu-ray's excited to see her. You know, yeah, she is. Yeah, she's superior. Yes, I do too. Yeah, she is. And here you go, Blu-ray. Oh wow, I'm getting excited now. Well, Blu-ray, I'm gonna maybe take it off of Margie. I don't want to keep it too long on Margie. Margie, oh my God, Margie, I mean, God, yo, I know you got your wet wipes and your sanitizer lotion out, Blu-ray. So I'm gonna move away from that for a bit. But Margie, she looks pretty good. I don't know if she's gonna knock off Andrea Shaw. One thing about Margie, she still has some few issues, like around about her quads, or about her abdominal area. That also, that she never, because she has a small, a good sized waist, but Margie is just, I think it's always some kind of, how she, I don't know. It's just Margie. She has some of those good qualities, but it's just, I don't know. It's just, it's a weird debate about Margie. Margie is just amazing. I mean, here's a video from her at the, yeah. This is from the last year's Olympia. I do need wet wipes for sure. LOL. Andrew is all around better, though. I agree. Yeah, and Margie looks pretty good. I have to get, Margie looks pretty good. This was a good show. She took third because as you know, Hella made the adjustments after last year. When she had to do Rising Phoenix, where she didn't come as conditioned, she made adjustments and she improved. But we'll talk about Andrea Shaw in a minute. And I'm like I said, I'm a fan of Margie. Andrea, she is, she's doing pretty good. I mean, Andrea is pretty impressive. I gotta, here's something for you, Blu-ray, my brother. I'll show you this real quick because we're talking about Lisa Lewis from back in the day. I'm about to post it in a bit. How Lisa Lewis. Now Lisa, my God, she was I would say a goddess. Yeah. That's Black Wonder Woman right there. You talk about Lisa or you talk about Margie. I think you talk about Margie, but I think of Lisa could be the Black She-Hulk. This is from the back. And, she always came. Lisa had a good amount of size, but her conditioning was never. I don't know. She never can get conditioning right. She had a good amount of size, but she just really, her condition was just so close. She never just, I mean, and as said, I was earlier, we were talking about Andrea Shaw, yeah. Yes, Margie, yes, but Lisa could be She-Hulk, so damn sexy. Oh, yeah. I think Lisa could be She-Hulk. You got the new She-Hulk. She looks more like a tall model type, not like, she has good, like a fitness model, not really muscular. I think one person that should have did The new She-Hulk, one person she did a blueprint for She-Hulk, Kristen Nunn. Now, Kristen Nunn, she doesn't compete. Kristen Nunn is just one of those girls that just work out and just have a lot of muscle. Kristen's not that tall. Kristen Nunn is like about 5'4", but she's has a lot of muscle development. She is good and massive. Yeah, but Andrea is going to be the tough woman to beat. It's hard to beat Andrea. She is, you know, amazing. I mean, Andrea is just she is the cream. Like my man, the Macho Man said, she's the cream of the crop. You know, that's Andrea. She's the cream of the crop. She's the top. She's the top notch right now in bodybuilding. And also about Andrea, she has that combination of not just great muscle development, but she has a very great feminine look to her. I mean, she's a beautiful woman. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I got this picture right here. I'm gonna pull it right here. Andrea is a beautiful woman. Look at her, right? The smile, the eyelashes. I think she's just probably one of the most sexiest women right now in bodybuilding. You know, you know. See, the CGI on the new show has problems. Yeah, I don't watch the streaming thing. God's Will Sort of Muscles again. Yeah, she's the best for sure. I'm sold on her now. Yeah, and she has great looks to her, great features to her. I mean, she's beautiful. I mean, you can't help but look at her. You get drawn to somebody like Andrea Shaw. Guys. I mean, be honest. She is a sexy woman. She just that big smile. I mean, those pretty teeth and those eyelashes. Oh my God. I mean, we, and she started out. She wasn't, you know, she looked like this picture here. This was like a two-time Miss Olympia looking at champion. Now this is like early in her career. She was put on the size. She's had to work on conditioning. She had the size, but conditioning she needed to work out. But I think what helped her a lot because she had very, very, very great facial features. She's a beautiful woman. Andrea. She has some great looks to her. She's a champion. Here it is. This is here. I'm gonna. Yeah, I mean, look at her body. I mean, she has amazing physique. Look at that. I mean, just the muscle development, the conditioning. I mean, only way she loses the Olympia if she has an off day. I don't know if she ever has an off day. I mean, just look at her back. God, she can put some guys in the lightweight division to shame. I mean, there'd be guys in the lightweight division wish they had Andrea's muscles. Wish they had her body, her physique. Yeah. Pretty girl, that's true. She sure is party on Blu-ray. She sure is party. Some of Biles look alike. Yeah, I think her and Simone does have that kind of look. But actually, I put it towards closer to like Audrey Harris White. Remember Audrey Harris White from back in the day? That's who I put closer to her too. I love to do interview with her. I reached out and sent them, requests, but I know she's busy. She's Miss Olympia. She got all these people chasing after her. I mean, but I love to interview Andrea someday. Maybe if I get to a level, my channel's still a small channel, still growing. But one day I'm gonna talk about who I'm become friendly with. Amazing woman, great competitor. I know she's not competing this year because of, she has took a step back. And that's my dear friend, Miss Jada Beverly. Now, Jada, I love Jada's physique. She has those good qualities about her. And I was talking with a guy who's friends with Jada. His name is Sean. Sean did an interview on my channel. We're talking about Jada. How Jada reminds me so much of women from back in the day in bodybuilding. Those women who were just amazing competitors. We're talking. And, and it's just Jada she has, like I did a comparison with her a while back with another lady who's a former, Olympia competitor, Olympic level competitor. That was, you know, uh, uh, Sheila Black. You know, here we go. Erica is hot, is the hot one. I don't know Erica. I would say Erica is looked the. I think Julia the blonde. God's will. Julia the blonde. I think Yeah. Oh yes, I remember. Yeah, Audrey Harris White and Jada. I did a comparison with her and Sheila Black, and Sheila was always had great condition. She has never had a lot of size, but she always had great condition. And Jada has that too. She has that. She has great condition. Not a lot of size because Jada's tall too. I think Jada says she's like 5'8", around 5'9". And she always comes in great condition. And also, I did a comparison with another lady from back in the day. This is her and Juliet Bergman. Remember Juliet Bergman back in the day? Blu-ray. Julia, when she was competing in the good part of the early '80s, in the '80s, Julia was amazing. Julie had a great physique. Juliet Bergman had a great physique, great condition. Not that big of a girl, but her condition was great. And I compared her to like one thing with Jada. Jada had some, look at her guns. One thing about Jada was the fact was, I think why Judge told her to push up to women's open because of her arms. I remember a different Debbie Carter said that the thing was she had big arms. And the thing is, if your arms is trying to catch up with the rest of your body, it's tough. These girls look great. Yes, I remember Julia. Yeah, or Juliet. It's Juliet actually. Juliet. Sorry. '80s and '90s for women's bodybuilding. Yeah, I think that was the best years for women's bodybuilding. The show that was on that time was American Gladiators. Then the women were a little bit more. They had that great level of muscle and a good level of femininity. Another lady who's I would say '80s classic was Angela Langer, and she was amazing. I mean, and I did comparison with her and Jada. Angela had great conditioning. She had good conditioning. Not much size per se, but good conditioning. And Jada's about the same. Not much size, but great conditioning. And another lady I compared her to is Sharon Bernot. And Sharon was also, like Jada, Sharon was also a bit of a mixed ethnic background, like Jada. And that is, that natural, beautiful melanin. Yeah, yeah. Yes, Juliet. That's wrong. It's Juliet. It's two T's and an E. Blu-ray. Yeah, yeah. Abs on these women, great. Yeah, they had great ab development. Both Sharon and Jada, and also, I think they really focused more on the centerpiece of the physique. Juliet was good. Yeah, she was good, God's will. She came back. She out of her retirement. She competed at the Olympia, and she competed twice. She competed in 2001. Sorry, and then came back in 2002, and then she lost to Linda. But you remember, I think that same year, 2002, Laura Craver came back, and she competed as a lightweight. And Laura Craver was just like, I looked at Laura and said, dang, she just didn't look like Laura Craver. She's more like maybe Laura Craver maybe 10 years ago. I would say 15 years ago. And she just didn't look as well developed. When she came in as a lightweight, Laura Craver, she didn't look as good as she was when she was competing as a heavyweight. Yeah, wait a minute. Abs on the great women are a gift. The Olympic gods. When I put periods, everything after you put God's will. I mean, you don't need to put periods, everything after you talk. But yeah, abs are great. That's a great centerpiece of a great physique. I told you that I put on top 5 great set of abs. I put it along with Bonnie Priest, Roxanne Edwards, who has Bonnie Priest, Roxanne Edwards. I said Krista Bach, Jada, and I would say Sheila Black. Top 5 great set of abs in women's bodybuilding. And yeah, I love Laura Cravel, I loved her. Yeah, I loved her too. She was a great, beautiful woman of ethnic background. Beautiful combined muscle. I think she was a two-time Miss International, two or three-time Miss Olympia runner-up. She's one of those great ones. But it's just about the process of any sport. But Jada is amazing. I like Jada. I mean, I love her physique. She's a great body. And, as you know, it's just like one thing about I'll talk about is Sarah Vilgas and Andrew Shaw are, I would say, they are the top women for the divisions. But let me ask you something. Do you think Sarah can compete against Andrea in a contest? You think Sarah has a chance up against Andrea Shaw? If they did if like this, if they took physique division and made it to lightweight division, and Sarah won the lightweight class. Sorry, lightweight class, not division, it's a lightweight class. It's classes in the divisions. So I gotta remember that. If Sarah was the lightweight class champion, and Andrea was the heavyweight class champion, would you think, she has a chance against Andrea, even though she comes in great condition, but doesn't, maybe doesn't have enough size? And my man Blue Ray says, he said, Blue Ray, no, not at this moment. Not at this moment, no. Okay, yeah, like I say, because I think with Andrea's size, it would beat out Sarah's conditioning. Yeah, I think it would possibly do that. But that is, like I said, it's a debate. And like I said, I was hoping to get some ladies to come out here and give them their thoughts, give them their opinions. I know a lot of them busy. That's why I should have pushed this thing back late in the afternoon. But I said, this is the best time. I'm early in the morning. I got nothing else to do. I'm working some stuff. I thought, maybe, but next time I do something like this, I should do it maybe on the weekend or maybe early in the morning. Actually late in the afternoon when ladies have time. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Blu-ray. Yeah. Hey, all the rage. How would 80s women abs and muscles or 90s? I don't think, you can't compare the women from the past to women to the day. I mean, the 80s women, as you know, if you look at back to like Richard McLeish, Carla Dunlap, and Corey Everson was another different level compared to Linda Murray, Lori Craval, and Kim Zavesky. It was just a process, and I think growing up a good part of the 90s and growing up in the 80s, if I had to choose one, I would say the women in the 90s. They were great. They were amazing. I love the 80s because I grew up in the 80s. I also love the 90s. But if I go by the better quality of definition and development, I have to go with the 90s because the fact was it was a process. As the 80s were going and changing, things were progressing in the 90s. You have Denise Osowski, who almost got a shot at the title. And that was she had great potential. And I wish she came back. But it's my man Blu-ray. Different time, just like rap music. Yeah, you could go back to, Curse Blow comparing to Kanye West, or Public Enemy compared to the Furious Five. I mean, it's just you just can't compare. Truthfully, it's just so much different. The process, anything like music is a process. The music changed from the early good part of the late 70s, early 80s to the 90s to the guys who knew this. I remember I tell you I used to work in a strip club. I used to play that all the night, and I got used to it. But usually when I get off work, I was hungry. I go to the Waffle House. That's one thing I should not eat late at night like that, early in the morning. I used to go to Waffle House and I play some old school stuff on the jukebox and listen to that while I'm eating, because just to wash that's some of that stuff out of my head. But yeah, that's the question. Could Andrea and could Sarah give Andrea a run for money? And maybe you say no. You know, and I talk about from that show at the Puerto Rico, how you know the difference between like look at like I said, look at it's like three different levels. You have the size, you have size and conditioning. You know, I think like this. I think break it down this. Julie had the size. Rashana had conditioning. Erica, none of it. I hate to offend the girl. She didn't have none of it. She's in the wrong division. She's she needs to. She's still young. I think Erica's is like 27. She's more time to stew and to develop. And then Rashana, Rashana has some issues. Like I know when she hit Chicago in 2020, she lost to Teresa Vasic. She really had to develop and really change and develop. And she said one issue was her back. And Rashana, she really made some improvements from last year to this year. She won Savannah last year. Now she looks a little pretty good. With Julia, she really has to come in a lot tighter. I think, she really has to come in tighter. Yeah. Wait a minute. What do we got to say? Yes, you can't do it. Eminem has left a revolutionary advantage, but he's harder to create from the beginning, like Melly Mel. Yeah, Melly Mel. Yeah, Melly Mel. He got really big. He got to put on some muscle on here. 3 different conditions for sure. Yeah, because you look at, Julia. Julia has a good amount of size, but conditioning is not as tight. And Rashana, her conditioning was pretty good, but she's still a bit small, you might say, compared to some of the women in the top 3 at the Olympia. And Erica, she just don't have it. She's in the wrong division. She should have did physique. I mean, she should have took the year off. Instead of after you got a pro card last year. Took this year off, work on a few things, work on conditioning, do physique for a while, because what happens, he won't be a Wing Strength ambassador, he does physique. But the thing is, on Wings of Strength, what they need to do is open up opportunities for the physique division. Because I remember a while back, Alina, she had a thing with ladies from the physique and bikini and figure division asking about being part of Wings of Strength. Wings of Strength is supposed to be for women's bodybuilding, but physique is technically women's bodybuilding. It's just, it's evolved from women's bodybuilding. It was created as some say believe, as a necessary evil. I won't call it this. I won't say necessary evil, but in a way, that's the meaning is necessary evil. It was created to be an alternative for women in bodybuilding who didn't have the size and who had more conditioning was, see what I say. Wait. Girl in the middle looks the best, I think. And that was Rashana. I got to see Rashana in person. I got to see Rashana in person, and she looked great. And it was like she was down here the 1st of June. It was Saturday when she had when she came for the seminar, and I got to see Rashana in person. And Rashana, she looked great. I mean, it was a great opportunity to see her up close and personal, and it was, and for me being a fanboy, a female bodybuilder for as long as I have been, and to meet some of these ladies is just, that's great. This is me here. I think I get, let me get a better picture of that, because that's like a little small. It was great to meet Rashana and Clara Rose. Clara, she is a woman. She's 58 years old, competitive physique competitor, and it was great to meet them both, because I met Clara at an event a month before that, and and to meet Rashana, it was just, and look, Rashana, she's still big. It's not as big compared to, some of the women in the top 3 at the Olympia, but she's coming along. And it was great to meet her in person. You know, derivative, yes. And she said, yeah, you know. Let's talk about women physique. I meant, yeah, you know, okay, yeah, you know. But you know, and look at Clara. Clara's an amazing woman. Woman's almost 60, and she's in good condition. I remember when she took when Charlotte came into the gym, and she took her jacket off, you know, and then Claire took off hers. You know, it was like you know, it's like a it was a it was they were both look great, you know, and these are two women who were just, I mean, you know, when the jacket's on, you couldn't really see too much. But once they took them off, everything, you know, business, I said business picked up. You know. And Rashana, it was, you know, it was great to see her in action. And, you know, Claire looked pretty good, you know. But, you know, and also a person I talked about before is, you know, we talked about, she had a birthday about a week ago, and that is Taya Casanova. You know, and how she evolved as an athlete, you know, and you know, look, that was when she earned her pro card back in 2019, you know, and look, she's just huge. She's huge. This is 2020 when she competed at the Romania Muscle Fest. You know, some people was hoping her to see her come back and compete some more, but you know, she has a great look to her. You know, I know you guys, you love, you know, women like this. You know, yeah. You look real excited. Yeah, I was excited. Wouldn't it be? You know, you should have asked them to flex. Well, they did flex. You know, there's some pictures. I got some pictures out here. You can check out my IG KLA. You know, there's I actually KL. You if you follow me on IG, you know I got a picture of, you know, I usually don't want to ask these ladies to flex because I know they get enough of that. You know, and I made it into a reel. And that's with Shauna after we had our little interview. And look at that. Wow. You know, this is maybe a week or so after the Puerto Rico. And Michelle looked pretty good. She looked great. She looked amazing. And you know, it's about the progression of the sport and of these athletes. As you know, I have a lot of content about ladies. As you remember, Danielle Willis, who won her first qualification for Olympia, you know, at the Omaha. She looked pretty good, but conditioning, she needs to come in a little tighter. You know, Danielle competed as a physique competitor quite a time. She decided to compete as open bodybuilding last year. She did the Savannah Pro. You know, yeah, fantastic woman, Natalia. Yeah, she is fantastic. You know, I want to see her and Natalia in person. Well, KLA, you have to go to Russia. And right now, I think there's issues with Russia where we probably can't even go into Russia because of the mess they got into with their whole Ukraine thing. I mean, you know, yeah. Okay, I Rashana reflexing. Yeah, you saw the video, KLA. Yeah, KL, I know you follow me on IG. The video is on my the reel is on my IG page, and also the interview I did was also on my YouTube channel. So you can go check out the interview. It was nice for giving me that time to talk with her. And I enjoyed myself. It was a great opportunity to meet her and several ladies at that show, at that seminar. You know, it was great. Like I said, I'm not gonna be on too much longer. I'm gonna do one more lady. I'm gonna talk about her, and then we yeah, I seen her cool. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, and I'm gonna talk about how, you know, she's pretty amazing. I think she has good qualities. She has um great development, and that is Branka Najogovic. I think I'm sorry, I'm got a name wrong. Branka, she competed. She started out in women's bodybuilding, but she made a transition to women's to physique because I think it probably worked better with her look and her aesthetics. because Bronca's not that tall. She's kind of she's on the short end. And she just won the Romania Muscle Fest over the weekend. And she might do pretty good. She's all dependent. Bronca has, she made the switch after I think she did the Europa Championships, and she switched over to Women's Open at the Romanian. And Bronca, wow. And like I say, she's a bit on the more shorter, petite size, but look at her quads. Look at her. Wow. I know you guys out there, wow. and she does have a few tattoos, but they're not too much in the way of her body. You don't see them in too much, like, especially the upper part, like the quads and around the chest. She might have some on her arm, and none on the back. She has tats, but they're not in the way of her muscle development. Exactly. No chance there, Russia. LOL. Yeah. You're not going to be able to go to Russia, after this mess that's going on. And Bronca's pretty impressive. She did pretty good. She took second at the Romania Muscle Fest, and then she beats out like somebody like a Mala Ash. Mala Ash took third of that show. And Bronca looked pretty good. She looked pretty amazing. I think she has good qualities about her. This is, I think, a video from the Romania Muscle Fest. It's Portugal Pro. And, look at these ladies. There's one lady right here. Her name is Garcia Speck. I just did my comparison video about her and Keisha Oliver. And, y'all see it from the back. But look at these ladies. They look like they're like goddesses. I know, I ain't watched look at her. Wow. Whew. Shit. That's all I can say. She looks really impressive. And she has great, look at her abdominals are great. Look at her delts, look at her quads. It's another lady she's with. She has a great look to her. She has, she has great eyes. She has some pretty eyes. I think they're like a light blue. Her hair look good. She has a nice smile. I think she has some good qualities about her. She's, like I said, she's on the short end, but she has great promise. She has a great future. Look at that, great physique. That's Margita. That's the Margita Zamvolova. Margina, she won her Olympic qualification at that show in Europa, and Bronca was competing in physique. But I think she has great qualities about her. I hope to see her compete more in the future. Maybe come here in the States and compete. She hadn't competed in the States in a long time. She's from Croatia. I reached out for an interview, and I'm hoping maybe we get to have her on my channel. But I followed her on Facebook before I did some slides before. I think I've seen some videos about Bronca. Yeah, she is shredded. She has a good amount of, of conditioning and definition, but she's still on the small side. More likely, she falls in right with like someone like Michaela Aycock and Lisa Kodry. What's her full name? It's not Broca. It's, let me put it in for you. It's let me give her a link to her IG for you. Blu-ray, so you can check her out. And her name is, let me put a name in for you so you can get it right the first time. Her name is Bronca Nujigvich. These names are hard to say, especially being me from a man from the South, and it's hard to scratch these names. So that's her name. Yeah, thanks. You're welcome. You know, thanks. You're welcome, Blu-ray. Check her out. I mean, she has a, she really appreciate that. I sent some pictures to her from the show. Also, sent her the pictures. You know, yeah. I got it now on Instagram. Yeah, and you can check her. She has a great physique. That's why I used her and Jada in the debate for mass versus condition between her and Irene. You know, we have an American for one for mass. We have a European for mass. We have an American for conditioning. We have European for conditioning. And that's it. Now, like, conditioning. I think mass is more about a lot of the American competitors coming out massive, but then a lot more of the European competitors are coming more about condition. But like I said, it's a great post. But like I said, it's been about 2 hours. It's my lunchtime. Maybe that's why I should have done this thing late in the afternoon, but this is time where I have a little more time. It's a little more relaxed. I do like to thank y'all for coming through. My man Blu-ray, KLA, God's Will, James Henry. Thank you for dropping that like. My channel is growing. I'm at 835 subscribers, and that's pretty good. I appreciate all of y'all, especially the ladies who support my channel. Like I said, I want to do more live streams. Now, I'm working on some other stuff I want to put together, and I'm hoping maybe I can get a real panel on here. I could set it up on the weekend, something like that, because I used to do that thing called my Sunday discussion, and I used to have people on to do a panel, and done it in a while. So I'm hoping maybe after when season starts to wane down and there's fewer shows and some of the ladies have time, I'd like to bring them on here and maybe talk about some of the debate about other stuff. Beautiful calves. Wow, Bronca. Yeah, she has great. I mean, I'm telling you, Bronca is amazing. I mean, I'm hoping, I hope to get her on here, do an interview. I think if I can do like this, I reached out to one lady. I know Barbara Majan, who got her qualification at the Portugal Pro. We were talking about maybe she can, when she comes over here to do the Olympia, she can do an interview with me, maybe after the show, because when she gets a chance to rest and to, do the photo sessions, I'd love to have the talk with her, because she's amazing. I'm a big fan of Barbara. She has an amazing body. She's great physique. She's a mother also. She has a young daughter, and she's telling me how her daughter was helping her with her social media stuff like that. And that's a good thing. We have kids are good with their social media stuff. I'm still learning. I'm still learning some stuff. It's taking me time. I'm still learning. But like I said, the debate is gonna be one of those debates is gonna be it's just gonna be one of the things that's gonna be talked about for a long time. The difference between mass and conditioning. It's can you have both? Can you have one? You should sacrifice one for the other. And it's just something that I think as a fan and me doing content on bodybuilding, I really think about it. And me becoming like one of these guys is probably one of the few guys on YouTube who's doing content on women's bodybuilding. It's a subject that I need to really bring up. I was hoping to have some people on here to give me their thoughts and their ideologies of which is best between conditioning and size, mass, or but I hope you do watch this video. I sent the copies of the links to his live stream to him. I'll tell you, watch the video. Comment. You can comment in the comment section. Give me your thoughts, like what you think is important. And do you want both? You want one? You want the other? I mean, what do the judges want? What's the criteria they want? What do as fans we want? I know many of the fans, especially old schools, like guys like Blu-ray. I most definitely know KIL's the old school. You love the master girls, but you've seen a new generation of women who come in condition. So, I just really want to hear from y'all. I want to hear your thoughts. I know, some of you may not watch my channel, and and maybe if you have the time, give my channel a look. Give me, I want to get your feedback. You feel like I'm just talking off my ass, or I'm making some good points? I really want to get your thoughts, because I really respect your opinion, especially you're competing, you're athletes, you're making sacrifices, and you really want to, go to the next level as a competitor. Most men are afraid to say they admire muscle girls, and that's true. That's the thing is, most most guys who follow female bodybuilders will get ostracized for the fact that they like female bodybuilders. I often comment that, "Are you gay?" That's the thing is, what my dear friend, I'm gonna show you, pull this real quick. My dear friend, Miss Brittany um, uh, Brooks, or better known as Big Lemonade, she talked about this. She posted on her social media how somebody made a reference. She gets a lot of people make reference to her about who she is. Being as a woman. And Brittany I talk about Brittany. Brittany is a mom. She's a Z competitor. Brittany's planning on doing some shows. She did the Omaha a while back, and Brittany posted this on her IG, and I saw it. And where is it? She had it, but they must have took it down. She had it. I'm gonna see where she had it. She must have took it down. You know what IG is? IG is always on some shit. Let me see. I saw it and I commented on it, but she must have had to take it down. Yeah, I think she took it down. Yeah. It was a picture of her she posted, and she talked about how guys make comments like she is a tranny. And, she's not, there's nothing, she's all woman, but she's an athlete. And Brittany's she's an amazing woman. She's beautiful. This is her. she has, I told her, getting serious diet face. When you get to that point where your body starts really thinning out, and your cheeks get sucking in, stuff like that. And I like Brittany. She's an amazing woman. She is a competitor, a mother. I mean, she wanted, because I talked about how she's dealing with sickle cell. Sickle cell is a disease that affects us Black people, and she's really coming along. Look at her. I mean, we talked about what next year she wants to do. She really wants to do a couple more shows before the season ends. And it's especially for her because she has a family to take care of, and she has a job as a teacher. Look at her. She's really developing. I mean, she is just amazing. Look at I'm a fan of her. We've been ever since she did my interview on my channel. We try to stay close. We talk on social media every now and then. I know she's busy. Look at those hammies. Look at that booty. Yeah. I'm a fan. I like to say I love Brittany. I think she's a beautiful woman. She's a beautiful woman. She got her hair. She's got a new job, with a fitness club, because she does school. She works as a teacher, and as a teacher, you're off for the next 2 or 3 months, and you're trying to make your living, But she is progressing as an athlete, as a mother. I mean, she is getting to that next level. Like I said, I'm a fan of Big Lemonade. See what you said? Exactly. Gay is a common one. Yes. Yeah. I mean, and I remember I did an interview with Capucine Cunt. How she said like he was dating a guy, and he was like filling out his way he wanted to be. Like he was messing with a tranny. They even say Serena is a man. And that's the thing about Serena is no way is a man. Serena is, Serena Williams. She's built like a brick house. She has boobs. She has a booty. She has thick thighs. I don't see what manly about Serena. I mean, it's usually haters and racists that say that shit. That's who say that. Even there, she's sexy. You're talking about Brittany. Yeah, Brittany is sexy. I think she's beautiful. She's attractive. She has a beautiful look to her. And I hope she's able to eventually get a qualification in Olympia. As you know, next year, Masters, will earn you Olympic qualification. Masters didn't do it back in the day, but now Masters owning women's opportunity to get the Olympic qualification. So, folks, I'm about to get off. I was hoping, like I said, I was hoping to get some people come out here and, but I know, I got to work in with their time and schedule. Saying maybe next time I'll reach out and say, hey, because I've done it before. I do the live stream, but maybe I shouldn't do it early in the week. I should have done it maybe the weekend next time. That's when that's better for some of these days. The weekend, they maybe not doing too much. Some of these ladies have actual jobs, they have responsibilities, but but much respect to these ladies. She's strong, yes, but not a man. Serena, yeah, that's true. She's strong, but she's not no man. I think that what is. I think she intimidates man. But like I said, Serena cannot, do well against even. I remember John Michael said like she wouldn't be good past the 700 guys in tennis. Watch that video with John McEnroe when he was on CBS this morning, and he tried to force him to change his because you sell his book, he had to change it. But the fact was, John was telling the truth. I remember Charlie Rose said, Charlie, you're a tennis guy, you play tennis, and Charlie kind of like he's between old girl who hosts the Even News and Gayle King, so he had to be like, nah, and he got into trouble. Remember Charlie got Rose, and like him and a couple of guys had trouble with the Me Too thing. Did they call Martina Martina Delosa two men too? Yeah, I think the same thing about Martina. Martina Navratilova had good muscle development. She remember you can see it. She because remember they had a debate they called Chrissy Ether the girl next door. And then they had Martina with this strong, muscular. Yeah. Yeah. Johnny Mack was 100% correct. Yeah. John was right, but the fact is, he knows he's been in the game for a long time. It's his experience. He's not, he wasn't going to water it down just to make Gayle King feel good, Oprah's girlfriend. But he was right. He was telling the truth. And the fact is, people don't want to hear the truth. They want to, like I said, sometimes I tell ladies in my interviews, I can tell you the pretty truth or the ugly lie. The problem is, people right here are pretty truth. They want to have a nice little story to make them feel good. When you hear the truth, it doesn't make them feel good. So, they play 3 sets and get the say prize money. No, women don't get the same prize money compared to the men, I don't think. But we talk about this also in bodybuilding, how women's don't get the same prize money. I mean, at least give the women a little bit more money compared to the men. I mean, I know you can pay the guys more because the men are the brand. They're the people who come see. But the women should get at least. You see a guy walking away from a show with $50,000 while a woman walks away with $5,000. That's not fair. That's not fair because they put in more money and time in competing compared to the men. Compared to getting the hair done, makeup, jewelry, the posing suits. Guys got to put on tanning, and then put on a banana hammock. That's not fair. It's not fair. But anyway, Alex say I want to thank my man Blue Ray coming through, my man James Henry, KLA, God's Will. Thank all the people who are watching this video. I hope you like my content. Wait a minute. In grammar slams, they do now. I'm sure the winners. In glam slams, they do now. I'm sure the winners. Blu-ray. Sometimes you talk about some stuff, but I think I rest. But like I said, I thank y'all. I hope some of you people who did see my link in my IG and also my YouTube and all my other channels come in. I appreciate y'all. Listen to me just talking about this subject. And my man, female bodybuilders do suffer. That's true. Yeah, that's true. They do suffer because they have to sacrifice their, femininity as athletes. Some ladies, one thing is like when Jane Penn talk about how they missed the opportunity to be, to have children. Many female bodybuilders after they retire, don't because the menstrual cycle and their whole body chemistry has changed. The lucky ones who had kids before they started, they are the lucky ones. But the other ones who get out of the sport. I think Linda Murray said, I don't know if it was true or maybe somebody saying this, and Linda was trying to have children with her husband, but because she had a couple of miscarriages, it just didn't happen, and that's sad. I think a couple of other ladies tried to have children after they finished competing, but some were lucky. Some of the lucky ones, like Melly Horton, I think a couple others I can think of off the top of my head right now. They were the lucky ones who, like Kim Zavetsky, who retired and then they was able to start their families. But other ladies, they did. Some ladies had to, become stepmoms, moms by nurture but not by nature. And it's that sacrifice as athletes. Remember, as I was talking with Jamie, how I said that there was this survey to a bunch of Olympic competitive athletes. They asked them, if you had a choice and you take, excuse me, I need a shave with my mustache tickling my nose. If you have a choice and you take this, pill, it makes you a better, stronger, faster athlete. When you win more medals, you set records. But here's this change of that. You lose 5 years off your life, meaning after 5 years, you die. Would you still take that pill? And the majority of those athletes said yes, because they're athletes. They want to compete. They want to take the next step. See, women 2.5 million men, and men and women winners. Yeah. I think the Wimbledon. I think did they finish the Wimbledon? Because I think they finished the Blu-ray. I think they finished it. I think it's done. I used to watch it. If Serena's not playing, I'm not watching it. I'm not watching it. I don't care. But Venus, I might watch Venus every now and then. Venus is a little, she's long and tall for some guys' taste. But here's the thing that's said about conditioning. If you feel like you can bring in good conditioning, and also a good amount of size, do that. God bless you. But he said, finish now, yes. LOL. Okay. Thank you, Blu-ray, for letting me know. But if you can bring in a good amount of condition and size, God bless you. But it's gonna be that the fact is you have to, sometimes if you are a much bigger woman and you had the size, that's gonna be you. If you're a much smaller woman, or much more leaner woman, where you can't really put on stuff, like someone like Sheena Olick or Jada Beverly, those ladies are really kind of lean, more conditioned, compared to somebody like Andrea Shaw. Andrea walks that fine line between conditioning and size. Compared to like Helen Trevino, Irene Anderson, Eva Montgomery, Margie V Martin, a couple other ladies like who I know who are a lot bigger, and it's really tough for them to become in condition, because the fact is they have to make a sacrifice of one or the other. But if they can bring it and present it, that's great. That's amazing. We as fans, we get to get both words. We get the women who have the mass and the women who come in vascular. But sometimes it's a crapshoot. It's a crapshoot. It's always about genetics. Anything about genetics is a crapshoot. So, like I said, I thank y'all for coming through. Thank you for commenting, liking, subscribing, sharing, supporting my channel. Like I said, I'm growing. And, also, if you know this, I'm planning on going in about a month from now. I think in September, I'm planning on going to Savannah, because this is going to be my first bodybuilding show I've seen in person. So you see in my little line here, I have my PayPal, my Venmo, and Cash App. If you like to make a donation, it's sure appreciative. I really appreciate it. Hey, I know times are tight, days are tough, but you know what? Hey, 10, 25, a couple bucks every now and then, it goes towards my savings for my trip. Like I said, Savannah, it's I was trying to find some hotels that's reasonable. And then plus, I'm not going to drive down there. I'm taking a train. Train ticket's cheaper than driving, because you got to pay gas and stop everywhere. And gas prices, well, I stopped at a gas station here in South Carolina, where I live I'm 2 miles from South Carolina. Gas was $3.99 was the last Saturday. And, it's still $4 and some change in some other places. But a train ticket is a lot cheaper. I could go by bus, but those buses can be crowded. You gotta stop every so often. A train, nice, comfortable, good ride. You enjoy yourself. You can eat, and you stretch out. Depending on which way you want to try. But make Blu-ray, yeah. Love your knowledge. Well, it's not knowledge. It's just me. I'm not an expert. Like I said, I'm a fan, and just stuff I learned over time. But I do appreciate you, Blu-ray. Oh, Savannah, Georgia. Yeah, because where I live at, I'm only 2 miles from North Carolina. You can hit if you get 95 from North Carolina, you can get to Savannah, but that's a good ride. And I'm not much of a good driver like that. I'm not big on driving that far. That's not me. That's why I didn't travel a lot on my own because that's a good way to drive. I'm a rider than a driver, but yeah, that's what I'm going to. And like I said, I'm be there, go see a show. There's some ladies who I know gonna be competing there. Some I have become friends with, who've done an interview with. I'd be happy to meet them in person. It's gonna be, it's just be a fanboy's dream to meet these ladies in person. I'm like I said in my interview with Shauna, I feel like a little girl in springtime. But thank you, Blu-ray, KLA, James Henry, God's Will for coming through, listening. Much appreciated. Like I said, yeah. Long drive in the heat. Yeah, it's not heat, Blu-ray, it's hate. You take that E, you put it at the end, you kind of hate. But I have air conditioning. That's the good part about it. But gas is the thing that eats it up. But like I said, I really like to thank y'all for coming through. Listen to me talk, off my butt. Supporting my channel, supporting these ladies out there. Like, if you like, I'm always gonna say this: if you are a person who has the ways and the means to support a woman in the sport of bodybuilding, please do reach out to these ladies. They can really use any kind of help, especially women's bodybuilding. They rarely get any sponsors. If you want to sponsor, be genuine about your sponsors. Like I tell you, say no D pics and shit freaks. Don't send them that, and don't be like the guy say, if I do this for you, we do something for me. No, don't do that. Be genuine in your support in women in bodybuilding. Be it physique, be it figure, be it fitness, be it women's open, bikini girls, and I think the wellness girls get sponsored a lot easier because they fit the femininity idea of what female bodybuilding should be. They can get sponsored a lot easier. But these other ladies, it takes a lot of time for them. LOL, yeah. But we're gonna end this off with my man Blu-ray's LOL. Appreciate you for coming to my channel, listen to me talk. I hope I gave you some knowledge, some information that you can use. Support these women in the sport of bodybuilding. They do need it. It's your man, George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk. Like, don't like, subscribe. I'm out.